welcome to a new video. So today I am going to drive MG Comet just like how we actually use it in our daily life with traffic, AC and stop and go conditions. So now let me see the range what we have in car. So it is in fully charged with 100% of charging. So that will same verify in the charging code. So it is in charging condition. It's in charge fully charged. So now let me turn off and unplug from the car. So usually before unplugging from the car, so I used to turn off the meter, I mean from the connection, and then I used to remove. So that's one of the safety precautions I used to take to avoid that electric shock and all. So now we'll get into the car and we'll start the car. So we'll see what are the information which you're going to see in this video and all the details. Hang on.
ఆ చిత్రం కోసం కార్తిక్ పాడిన
So now it is showing 100%. Here it is 200 kilometers. Now let me change the order to trip A. So this is the button, trip A. I'm going to reset 0. So I'm going to change the region level to heavy. So now I've done the trip meter to 0, and now it is 100% charge with 200 kilometers. So now let's drive. So I'm going to all the way back. So now we are going to do range test on MG Comet. This is the base version. So now battery level is at 100%. So it's showing 200 kilometers. So now I'm going to put the AC in level 3 since it is the hot summer mid of May. So without AC we can't drive. So now we are going to do range test with all the day-to-day tasks like AC or using the eco mode on the minimalist range. So I'm not going to cross more than 60 kilometers per hour since we are going to use in day-to-day life, like in terms of city or in terms of village usage or in the town usage. So in this we are not going to cross more than 60. So that's how the basic Comet users are using. They're not used to cross more than 60, so I will also not cross more than 60. I'll be maintaining below 60. I'm using the eco mode since I observe that most of the Comet users are using day-to-day life in the eco mode. I think the power is more enough in the eco mode. That's gonna use, I think that's more than enough in this Comet vehicle. And then I set the region level to heavy. So generally in this there is no auto AC mode. So since I used to have a habit of using just press on auto button, so it will adjust according to the cabin weather or outside weather. So that I'm used to. So since there is no specific auto button here in the AC controls, so I just used to click on this AC button when it is off. So it used to set automatically fan speed at 3. So I'm using in that way the auto AC mode. I think that's working good in this according to me. So that is how I used to use AC in auto mode, since there is no specific auto climate or button for the specific AC for the AC controls. So I used to just press on AC controls when it is off, so that it used to set automatically to 3. And then if it is even the climate, there is no specific degrees, like you used to set 16, 18. So in this there is no specific degrees it will display. So it used to show just the 3 levels, 3 for the cooling and 3 for the higher temperature for the heat one. So I used to set the lowest degrees for the AC, and then I used to click on AC button. So it used to set the fan speed at 3. if you see the range details in the display in the instrument cluster, so with 100% of charging, it used to show in the display for 200 kilometers. That means 1:2. So 1% of charging will go up to 2 kilometers as per the display. But when it comes to real time, it used to change. So usually when I tested earlier, not for the video purpose, when I tested personally how much kilometers I'm getting in a MG Comet. So when I driven for around 100 kilometers, that's in the winter, when I used to drive without AC, without turning on AC. I charged 100 kilometers and I went for 50 kilometers one way and return 50 kilometers. So it used to take around 40% with 2 members. In that way, if you see 60 kilometers for 100 kilometers, 40% for 100 kilometers, and the remaining 60 kilometers, if you take another 40 kilometers for the 100 kilometers and another 20% for the 40 kilometers, so it used to come around 240 250 easily. But in real life, we are not going to use without AC, so that's why I'm not considering that as a real range. So obviously now we are in May mid, around May 8th 9th. So now the temperature is around 40-42 plus degrees. So obviously who are driving in the car, so no one want to think like I'm going to drive without AC. So obviously everyone will think that when you're driving, the AC should be mandatory. So that's why I turned on the AC. As usual, I used to set the fan speed automatically by 3, the fan speed at 3 with the lowest temperature. And now we'll see how much the range I am getting as per my conditions, my driving style. As I said, I'm not going to cross more than 60. So usually what I observe, like the Comet users with their requirement, they are using for the short terms or for the daily to office, office to home, and for the local trips. For the daily usage, they are not going to cross 60, and they used to set the driving modes in eco and region levels at heavy. So I'm going to try in that way only, so to test the real world mileage according to the daily usage. And then the main important thing, it's driving experience. So when you're driving MG Comet, you can feel it's tiny, but when you're driving and when you see the view, the drive view or the angle, when you see the road, you won't feel that it's a tiny. I think it's a bit decent size, not the tiny as you should see in the reviews. It's a bit good. I think even earlier I am having experience of driving this Tata Nano, and then I feel a bit similar to that in terms of size and in terms of driving experience. Even that used to come with a simple cabin with the basic. I think it's coming with as per the latest market, we're getting some treatment of metal and some treatment of soft touch and some treatment of dual tone, all the stitching and all the cabin colors and all. So when you're driving, I set my seat adjustment according to my driving style. So I should drive a bit comfort. I need to drive in a comfy way. So I set a little lean backward my position, and all the way to the last of the seat, front and back. So when I'm 5'11", 5'11" height, I think even I'm 5'11", when I set according to my adjustment, there is a decent amount of headroom. So when you're driving and when you hit any speed bumps in a high speed, I think it's not going to affect more. I think it's a bit comfortable. It's in a good way. now the battery is exactly at 50%. It's showing 100 kilometers range, but we've driven almost 102 kilometers. That too with level fan speed at 3 with the lowest temperature. So I'm maintaining below 60, like around 55, 56, 50. And when we are crossing or when you're overtaking the vehicle, so I'm giving little more acceleration to cross the vehicle. And then coming to the capabilities of car, so there is no specific boot space for this car, but once you put down the backside seats, and will get some decent amount of space for transportation of luggage or some basic home needs. So here I transported 4 water cans. It was fit perfectly, and it is easy to transport and all. And even there is some renovation going in my home, and we shifted, or we used this as a transportation for brakes and the cement and the basic sandbags, and also it was easily it handled perfectly, and I didn't see any notice or lag. It was handled perfectly, so I think this we can use on a day to day the home needs as well. Now we are almost done with the day. So now if you see the battery percentage on the car, it's around 33 percentage with 66 kilometers of range, but we driven around 137.4 kilometers with 67 percentage. So usually with that 67 percentage it should come around 134 kilometers, but we got around 137.4. that is more than what we used to get in the display. So with the decent amount of acceleration and the speed if you maintain, so even with the AC we'll get more range what to expect.